Can I ask you something a little personal? Have you ever found yourself standing in the kitchen, holding the refrigerator door wide open, but not remembering what you were looking for? Or maybe you've misplaced your car keys again, and you tell yourself, well, I'm just getting older. But what if those little lapses are not just age? What if they are gentle whispers from your brain asking for help? Here's the truth. Dementia is rising fast in America. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that new dementia cases may double from 500,000 to 1 million per year by the year 2060. That's not a distant problem, it's one that could touch your family, your friends, or even you. But here's the hope. Science is showing us that the small choices we make every day, the foods we eat, the drinks we pour into our cups, can help protect our brain. And one of the simplest habits, something you could start tomorrow morning, may lower dementia risk by as much as 25%. So stay with me. This isn't about fear. This is about strength, about reclaiming your memory, and about living fully. Because protecting your brain is the greatest gift you can give yourself and the people who love you. Have you ever experienced those "where did I put my keys" moments? Share your story in the comments below. I promise you're not alone. The hidden crisis of memory. Let me ask you, when was the last time you misplaced your glasses, only to find them sitting right on top of your head? Or when you couldn't remember the name of someone you've known for years? We laugh at these moments. We call them senior moments. But sometimes they are more than just innocent slips. Dementia is not simply getting old. It is a medical condition where the brain begins to lose its ability to remember, reason, and manage daily life. The most common type is Alzheimer's disease, which makes up nearly 2/3 of all dementia cases in America, according to the Alzheimer's Association. Here's why this matters. The early signs often hide in plain sight. For example, repeating the same question several times in one conversation, struggling to follow the steps of a familiar recipe, getting lost while driving a route you've taken for 20 years. Do any of these sound familiar to you? I remember one of my patients, David, a retired firefighter. He was strong, disciplined, the man everyone relied on. But his wife noticed something unusual. He would leave the stove on or forget the names of his fellow firefighters. At first, they brushed it off as just age. By the time they sought help, the disease had already advanced. This is why recognizing the difference matters. Normal aging may mean occasionally forgetting where you parked the car. Dementia means forgetting how to get home at all. Here's the problem. Too many of us delay seeking help. We wait until memory loss becomes severe, until daily life is disrupted. By then, valuable time has slipped away. But there is another path. By paying attention to early warning signs, and by strengthening the brain through lifestyle changes, we can slow the progression. And the good news? Research now shows that even something as simple as drinking green tea every day may play a role in protecting the brain. Have you ever noticed these early warning signs in yourself or someone you love? Write yes in the comments if you have, or no if you haven't. Your story could help someone else find the courage to act sooner. Nutrition and the brain. What science says. Have you ever noticed how a heavy, greasy meal can leave you feeling sluggish, while a fresh salad makes you feel lighter, clearer, more awake? That's not just in your stomach, it's in your brain. For years, we thought memory loss was only about age or genetics. But today, science tells us something powerful. What you eat directly shapes how your brain functions. One of the strongest pieces of evidence comes from the MIND diet, short for Mediterranean Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Developed by researchers at Rush University and Harvard, it blends the heart-healthy Mediterranean diet with the blood pressure lowering DASH diet. The result? A plan designed specifically to slow brain aging. In a landmark study published in Alzheimer's and Dementia, people who followed the MIND diet closely had a 53% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Even those who only followed it moderately well saw about a 35% reduction. So, what makes this diet so brain-friendly? It emphasizes leafy green vegetables like spinach and kale, berries, especially blueberries and strawberries, rich in antioxidants, whole grains, beans, and nuts that keep blood sugar stable, olive oil as the main fat, and yes, fish at least once a week. At the same time, it asks us to cut back on red meat, butter and margarine, cheese, fried foods, and fast food. Now, here's the biology, don't worry. I'll keep it simple. The brain is made up of about 60% fat. Healthy fats, like those from olive oil and fish, nourish brain cells, keeping them flexible and able to communicate. Antioxidants from berries and green vegetables fight inflammation and oxidative stress, which are like rust in the brain. And whole grains provide steady energy, protecting against the blood sugar spikes that can damage blood vessels in the brain. One of my patients, Mary, age 72, decided to try a simple change. She swapped her morning pastry for a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries and walnuts. After 3 months, she told me, "Doctor, I feel sharper. I don't lose track of my thoughts the way I used to." Is it a miracle? Number, it's biology. Her brain was finally getting the fuel it needed. The National Institute on Aging now recommends the MIND diet as one of the best strategies to keep your brain strong as you age. And here's the best part, you don't have to follow it perfectly. Even small steps, like adding a handful of berries or choosing olive oil over butter, make a difference. So let me ask you, if you had to pick one small food change this week, just one, what would it be? Share it in the comments. You may inspire someone else to begin their journey. Green tea, a secret from Japan. Now, let's travel across the Pacific to a country where people often live well into their 90s and even beyond 100 years. Japan. Scientists there wanted to know, could something as ordinary as tea explain part of their longevity? They launched a large study known as the Murakami study, involving 13,660 adults with an average age of 59. Researchers tracked them for an average of 11.5 years. During this time, they recorded lifestyle factors, diet, exercise, smoking, alcohol, education, and most importantly, how much tea or coffee they drank. When the results came in, they were striking. Those who drank the most green tea, at least 600 milliliters per day, or about 20 fluid ounces, had a 25% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who drank very little. Think of it this way. That's about 2.5 American cups of tea each day. Not an impossible task. Not a medication. Just a daily ritual, enjoyed at the breakfast table or after dinner. Even more fascinating, the study showed that every additional cup of green tea brought about a 5% reduction in dementia risk. So 1 cup could mean 5% less risk. 2 cups, 10%. By the time you reach 2.5 cups, you've cut your risk by a full quarter. But there was a twist. The researchers also studied coffee. While coffee may have other health benefits, combining large amounts of coffee with green tea did not bring additional protection for the brain. In fact, too much caffeine over 300 milligrams per day may cancel out the benefits. So what does this tell us? That balance matters. That a simple, steady habit can protect the brain in ways we might never have imagined. I'll share with you something I tell my patients. Your daily cup of green tea is not just a drink. It is a shield, a silent, green shield for your brain. Do you drink tea regularly? If yes, how many cups a day? If not, what's holding you back? Share below. I'd love to hear your answer. Coffee and green tea, when more doesn't mean better. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Doctor, if green tea helps, and coffee might help too, why not drink both in large amounts and double the protection? It sounds logical, but science tells us the opposite. In the Murakami study, researchers also looked at people who drank a lot of both green tea and coffee. What they found was surprising. Unlike those who drank only green tea, the heavy tea and coffee drinkers did not get the same brain benefits. Why? The answer may lie in caffeine. Let's put the numbers in perspective. Green tea contains about 20 milligrams of caffeine per 100 milliliters. Coffee contains about 60 milligrams per 100 milliliters. So if someone drinks 600 milliliters of green tea plus 300 milliliters of coffee per day, that adds up to roughly 300 milligrams of caffeine. And many participants drank even more. Now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, recommends no more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day for healthy adults. So those heavy drinkers were already near or over the safe limit. Too much caffeine can overstimulate the nervous system, raise blood pressure, cause poor sleep, and ironically, affect memory. It's like stepping on the gas pedal too hard. The engine may run fast for a while, but eventually it overheats. And remember, coffee and tea are not the same. They carry different plant compounds. Sometimes, those compounds may even counteract each other. So, the lesson here is simple. More is not always better. Balance is key. One of my patients, Linda, age 68, used to drink coffee all morning, 5 or 6 cups, then switched to green tea in the afternoon. She complained of feeling anxious, restless, and unable to sleep at night. When we cut her caffeine back to 2 cups of coffee and 1 or 2 cups of green tea, her sleep improved, her blood pressure came down, and she said, "Doctor, I feel calmer. My mind isn't racing all the time." So yes, green tea can be powerful for your brain, but it doesn't mean you should overload your body with caffeine. Sometimes, less truly is more. How many cups of coffee or tea do you drink on a typical day? Be honest. Write your number in the comments. You may be surprised how it compares to others. The magic of EGCG, your brain's natural shield. So what makes green tea so powerful for the brain? The answer lies in a special compound with a long name, epigallocatechin gallate, or simply EGCG. EGCG is a type of flavonoid, part of a family of antioxidants called catechins. And among all the true teas, black, white, oolong green tea has the highest levels. In fact, it has about 4 times more catechins than black tea. But what does EGCG actually do? Think of your brain like a house. Over time, dust and clutter build up. This is inflammation and oxidative stress. EGCG works like a skilled cleaner, sweeping away harmful particles and calming down the fire of inflammation. Even more importantly, studies show that EGCG may reduce the buildup of amyloid beta plaques and tau tangles. These are the 2 toxic hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Imagine amyloid as sticky glue, clogging the spaces between brain cells, and tau tangles as knots choking the brain's wiring system. EGCG acts like a gentle hand, loosening the glue and untangling the knots. This is not science fiction, it's evidence. Laboratory studies from institutions such as the National Institute on Aging have confirmed EGCG's role in protecting neurons from damage. And here's something hopeful. EGCG doesn't just protect the brain. It also reduces inflammation throughout the body, improves blood sugar control, and supports heart health. Because let's be honest, what's good for your heart is almost always good for your brain. Of course, green tea isn't the only source. You can also find catechins in berries like blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, dark chocolate, cherries, walnuts. One of my patients, Helen, age 70, told me she started ending her dinner with a small piece of dark chocolate and a cup of green tea. She laughed and said, "Doctor, it feels like dessert, but you've tricked me into medicine." And she's right, sometimes the best medicine comes disguised as pleasure. So here's the big picture. Every sip of green tea, every bite of berries or dark chocolate is like adding another layer of armor around your brain. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Your brain doesn't need a miracle, it needs your steady support. Tell me, if you had to pick one green tea, berries, or dark chocolate, which would you enjoy most as your daily brain shield? Share your choice in the comments below. Common mistakes when drinking green tea. By now, you might be thinking, "All right, doctor, I'll start drinking green tea tomorrow." And that's wonderful. But before you do, let me share a few common mistakes I see all the time in my patients. Mistake number one, tea bags with microplastics. Many commercial tea bags are sealed with plastic. When hot water touches them, tiny particles called microplastics can seep into your tea. And yes, those particles can enter your body, even your brain. Solution: choose loose leaf tea with a strainer. It's not only safer, it tastes better. Mistake number two, loading up with sugar or cream. I get it, green tea can taste a little bitter at first, but adding spoonfuls of sugar turns your brain shield into brain poison. Excess sugar has been linked to memory problems and even higher dementia risk. Instead, try cutting them down gradually. Take your usual sweetener and reduce it week by week until you enjoy the tea as an island. Mistake number three, steeping too long. Have you ever left your tea bag in for 10 minutes only to find it too bitter to drink? That bitterness comes from tannins. When it's too strong, many people give up drinking green tea altogether. The fix: steep for just 2 to 3 minutes if you prefer a milder taste. Mistake number four, drinking too much too late. Remember, green tea still has caffeine. If you drink it late in the evening, you may find yourself tossing and turning at night, and poor sleep is a major enemy of brain health. The solution? Enjoy green tea in the morning or early afternoon, and let your evenings be calm and caffeine-free. I remember one patient, John, 75 years old. He proudly told me he was drinking 6 big mugs of green tea a day for my brain, he said. But he was also complaining of poor sleep, racing thoughts, and a jittery heartbeat. When we cut him back to 2 or 3 cups, his sleep improved, and his energy actually lasted longer. So here's the message. Green tea is a gift, but only when used wisely. Think of it like medicine: just enough heals, too much harm. Be honest. Do you add sugar or drink your green tea plain? Share your answer in the comments. You might help someone else make a better choice. Whole body benefits. Beyond memory. By now, you already know that green tea can be a shield for your brain. But here's the bonus: it doesn't stop there. Green tea protects your whole body, from head to toe. First, the heart. Several studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that people who drink green tea regularly have healthier cholesterol levels and lower blood pressure. Why does that matter? Because every heartbeat pumps oxygen and nutrients straight to the brain. A strong heart means a strong brain. Second, blood sugar control. Green tea improves the body's sensitivity to insulin. That means steadier blood sugar, fewer spikes, and less damage to the delicate blood vessels in your brain. It's like giving your brain a smooth highway instead of a bumpy road. Third, inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a silent enemy. It damages cells, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. The antioxidants in green tea, especially EGCG, calm this storm. They lower inflammation not just in the brain, but in joints, arteries, and even the digestive system. Fourth, cancer prevention. While no single food can guarantee prevention, research from the National Cancer Institute has linked green tea's catechins to a reduced risk of certain cancers, especially digestive cancers. I remember one patient, Mrs. Clara, age 74. She had struggled with bloating, poor digestion, and borderline high cholesterol. At my suggestion, she swapped her nightly soda for a warm cup of green tea. After a few months, she proudly told me, "Doctor, I feel lighter. My belly doesn't give me trouble anymore, and my numbers are better." Now, let me be clear, green tea is not magic. It's not a cure-all, but it is a gentle support system. Sip by sip, it works quietly in the background, helping your body resist stress, age, and disease. Think of it this way. Every cup is like adding another brick to the foundation of a longer, healthier life. Tell me, besides memory, what's the health issue you worry about most? Your heart, your digestion, or your joints? Share in the comments, and let's see how many of us share the same concerns. Here's the good news. Protecting your brain doesn't require complicated medicine or expensive supplements. It can begin with something as simple as what you pour into your cup tomorrow morning. If you normally reach for coffee or a soda first thing, try swapping just one of those drinks for green tea. Not the whole day, not a major life change, just one cup. That single choice, repeated day after day, builds into a powerful habit. It's like putting $1 into your savings account every morning. $1 doesn't make you rich, but over time, it adds up to security. And remember, you don't have to drink it plain if you're not ready. Add a touch of honey or squeeze a bit of lemon. Gradually, your taste buds will adjust. I once had a patient, George, age 67, who laughed when I suggested green tea. He said, "Doctor, I'm a coffee man, always have been." And for might. So we started small, just one cup of green tea in the afternoon, while keeping his morning coffee. 3 months later, he told me, "You know what? I look forward to that cup now. It clears my head." That's the power of one small step. So here's my challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, give your brain the gift of one cup of green tea. Sip it slowly. Think of it as your first act of self-care that day. And if you're already drinking green tea, maybe tomorrow, share a cup with someone you love, because health habits are more powerful when shared. Tell me in the comments, what will you choose tomorrow morning, coffee, soda, or green tea? Your answer might inspire someone else to take the first step. So, let's take a step back. We began this conversation with fear. The fear of losing memory, of losing independence, of losing ourselves. But today, we've discovered something powerful. That fear can be met with action. You now know that dementia is not just an inevitable part of aging. It is influenced by choices daily, simple choices. What you eat, what you drink, how you move, how you rest. And among those choices, something as ordinary as green tea stands out. Not a miracle pill, not a complicated treatment, just a warm, calming drink that carries antioxidants, protects neurons, supports your heart, and steadies your body. Imagine this. Every morning you pour that cup, you're not just drinking tea. You're telling your brain, "I am here for you. I choose to protect you." I've practiced medicine for more than 30 years. And if there's one truth I've learned, it's this. Healing doesn't come from fear. It comes from hope. It comes from the belief that no matter your age, you can still care for your body. You can still strengthen your brain. You can still live fully. So I invite you, no, I encourage you to take one small step, Start tomorrow. Choose green tea instead of soda. Add berries to your breakfast. Take a short walk after lunch. Pick one or two small habits and begin. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. We are a community. We are here to remind each other. Protect your brain before it needs saving. Now it's your turn. What's the one habit you will start tomorrow to protect your brain? Share it in the comments below. And if this message touched you, please share this video with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. Because your mornings matter. Your health matters. And most importantly, you matter.